Act 1, Vandergelder's living room, Yonkers, New York.
Now I tell you for the 100th time, Mr. Kemper, you will never marry my niece.
And I tell you for the 1000th time that I will marry your niece, and right soon too.
Never!
Your niece is of age, and your niece has consented to marry me.
I will not allow my niece to marry somebody who cannot support her.
I tell you I can support her. I make a very good living.
A living is made by selling something that everybody needs. And you are doing something that nobody needs. No, Mr. Kemper.
Your niece is of age, and there is no law.
Law? Let me tell you something, Mr. Kemper. It was I who prevented you from marrying my niece, not the law.
Very well. From now on, you might as well know that any way we can find to get married, we call right and fair.
I will prevent you from marrying my niece, and I have taken steps already. I have sent her away.
You sent her away?
Yes, to get this nonsense out of her head.
We'll see about that.
There you are. I wanted to talk to you and Barnaby. Good news, I'm going to New York. In fact is, I'm going to promote you. How old are you?
33, Mr. Vandergelder.
That's all?
33.
I thought you were 40.
No, I'm 33.
The man's not worth the sentence until he's 40. We just have to make mistakes. I was thinking of promoting you to chief clerk.
What am I now, Mr. Vandergelder?
You're an impertinent fool. That's what you are. And if you behave yourself, you promote from impertinent fool to incompetent chief clerk. And Barnaby would promote an idiot apprentice to incompetent clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Vandergelder.
Now, before you leave, I want you to go and get my niece's trunk.
Yes, Mr. Vandergelder.
Uncle, you said you wanted to speak to me?
Why, yes, I had to talk to that artist of yours.
Oh, you did?
Yes, he's an idiot.
Oh!
I told him you married somebody who could support you. Don't worry, he'll come and thank me when you're 50.
But Uncle, I love him.
And I tell you, you don't.
But I do.
And I tell you, you don't.
If I don't marry Ambrose, I know I'll just die.
What's up?
A broken heart.
Never heard of it. Mrs. Levi is coming in a little bit to take you to New York. When she gets here, she'll take you to New York, and I'll be visiting in a little while. Who are you?
Malachi Stack, sir. I heard you needed an apprentice in the hay, feed provision, and hardware business.
An apprentice at your age?
Well, I bring much experience.
Have you any letters of recommendation?
Yes, sir. First class.
Ermengarde, are you ready?
Yes.
We'll go and get ready some more.
Yes, Uncle Horace.
Do you drink?
No, sir. I've just had breakfast.
Idiot, I asked you whether you were drunk or not if you drank.
No. Looking at it from all sides, I don't even like liquor.
Well, if you keep looking at it from all sides, out you go. Here, remember that. With all your faults, I'm willing to give you a try.
You won't regret it, Mr. Vandergelder.
I regret it already. 99% of the people are fools. The rest of us are in great danger of contagion. As you see, I am a man of sense. You'll be surprised to know that I wasn't always as free of sense as I am now. I was once young, which was foolish. And then I fell in love, which was foolish. And then I got married, which was foolish. And then for a while I was poor, which was more foolish than all the other things put together. And then my wife died, which was foolish of her. And then I grew older, which was sensible. And then I grew rich, which is as sensible as it is rare. Since you see I'm a man of sense, you'll be surprised to hear I'm getting married. Well, I have two reasons. First off, I like my house running order, and that's one of them. And then, a woman can't do it well if she's merely being paid for it. So a marriage is a bribe to make a housekeeper think she's a householder. The second reason, ladies and gentlemen, is there's nothing like mixing with a woman to bring out all the foolishness in a man of sense. And that's a risk I'm willing to take. Because you see, I've just laid aside my first $500,000 and just turned 60. So if I should lose my head a little, I have enough money to buy it back. Yes, like all you other fools, I'm willing to risk a little security for adventure. Thank you, Elder.
Ambrose! If my uncle saw you!
Shh! Get your hat.
My hat!
Quick, we're running away.
Running away? Where?
To New York to get married.
Oh, Ambrose, I can't do that. It wouldn't be proper.
Why not?
Like I said, it wouldn't be proper.
But I tell you, we're going to get married.
Oh, but what would Uncle say?
I don't care what Uncle would say. We're going to elope.
Oh, Ambrose, why do you use such an awful word?
Ermengarde, you have the soul of a field mouse.
Oh, Ambrose, why do you say such cruel things to me?
Quick! For the last time, I beg you to get your hat and coat. The train leaves in a few minutes. Hello, darling girl. How are you?
Oh, good morning, Mrs. Levi.
And who is this gentleman who is so devoted to you?
Mrs. Levi, this is Mr. Kemper. Ambrose, this is Mrs. Levi.
Mrs. Levi Barn Gallagher. Very happy to meet you, Mr. Kemper. Mr. Kemper, the artist. Delighted. Mr. Kemper, may I say something very frankly to you? Yes, Mrs. Levi. This thing you're planning to do is a very great mistake.
Oh, Mrs. Levi, please explain to Ambrose that of course I want to marry him, but to elope, how?
Now, my dear girl, you go in and keep one eye on your uncle. I wish to talk to Mr. Kemper for a moment. You give us a warning when you hear your Uncle Horace coming. Mr. Kemper, I was this dear girl's mother's oldest friend. Believe me, I'm on your side. I hope the two of you shall be married very soon, and I think I can say that I will be of real service to you. Mr. Kemper, I always go right to the point. What is the point, Mrs. Levi? Mr. Vandergelder is a very rich man, and Ermengarde is his only relative. Oh, I'm not interested in Mr. Vandergelder's money. I have enough to support a wife and family. Enough? The future is the most expensive luxury in the world, Mr. Kemper. If you follow my advice, you'll even permit her to marry you. You see, Mr. Vandergelder is planning to get married himself. What? That monster? You, Mrs. Levi? Oh, no. I'm merely arranging it. I'm helping Mr. Vandergelder find a suitable bride. For Mr. Vandergelder, there are no suitable brides. I think we can safely say that Mr. Vandergelder will be married to someone by the end of next week. Well, what do you suggest, Mrs. Levi? I'm taking Ermengarde on the next train to New York. At about 6, I shall take you both with me to the Harmonia Gardens restaurant. Mr. Vandergelder will be there, and everything will be arranged. How do I know I can trust you, Mrs. Levi? Could easily make our situation worse. Mr. Kemper, your situation could not possibly be worse. I wish I knew what you got out of this, Mrs. Levi. Mr. Kemper, I'm a woman who arranges things. At present, I'm arranging Mr. Vandergelder's domestic affairs. Life as it is never quite interesting enough for me. I'm bored, Mr. Kemper, with life as it is. And so I do things. I put my hand in here, and I put my hand in there, and I watch and I listen, and often I am very much amused. You see, Mr. Vandergelder, I'm very interested in Mr. Vandergelder and all his idle frozen money. I don't like the thought of it lying in great piles, useless, motionless. It's in the bank, Mr. Kemper. Money should circulate, like rainwater. It should be flowing in and around the people through dressmakers and restaurants, setting up a little business here and furnishing a good time there. Do you see what I mean? Yes, I do, Mrs. Levi. If you and Ermengarde get a good deal of Mr. Vandergelder's money, I want you to see that it starts flowing in and around a lot of people's lives.
Mrs. Levi, Uncle Horace is coming.
Mr. Kemper, I think you'd better be going. Oh, Mr. Vandergelder, how handsome you look. You take my breath away. I wish Irene Malloy could see you now, but then, I don't know what's come over you lately. You seem to be growing younger every day.
Allowing for exaggeration, Mrs. Levi. Men age right will never have to approve.
Why, you'll be staggering around at 100 years old. They'll have to hit you on the head with a mallet. They'll have to stifle you with a sofa pillow. You'll bury us all. However, to return to our business. I suppose you've changed your mind again. I suppose you've given up all ideas of getting married.
Well, not at all. In fact, I've practically decided to marry Mrs. Malloy.
You have?
I have.
You have. Well, I guess that's just about the best news I've ever heard. then, I guess there's nothing left for me to do but wish you every happiness under the sun and say goodbye. But I did have another suggestion to make, but I won't. You're going to marry Irene Malloy, and that closes the matter.
What suggestion was that?
Well, I have found another girl for you.
Another?
Oh, the most wonderful girl, the ideal wife.
What's her name?
Her name?
Her name.
Her name. Ernestina. Simple. Miss Ernestine.
Miss Ernestine Simple?
Yes. And yet, if only you were free. Oh, I found this treasure of a girl. The whole time I felt a traitor to Irene Malloy, but, oh, I couldn't help it. I told her about you as if you were a free man. Isn't that dreadful? The fact is, she's already fallen in love with you.
Ernestine Simple, eh?
Miss Ernestine Simple. Couldn't you come over to New York today?
Why, in fact, I was planning to come over to New York myself today.
Well, then I wonder if something can be arranged. Oh, she's so eager to see you. Let me see.
Could I perhaps treat you two ladies to a dinner, Mrs. Levi?
Well, come to think of it, I don't see where I could get the time. I'm so busy. But maybe a little dinner could be arranged. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll bring Ernestina to that restaurant on the Battery. You know it, the Harmonia Gardens. It's good, but it's not flashy. And Mr. Vandergelder, I think it'd be nice if just this once you'd order a real nice dinner. I guess you can afford it.
Well, just this once.
A little chicken, maybe?
Well, just this once.
Now about that Mrs. Malloy. What do you think? Shall we call the matter closed?
Why not at all? In fact, I want to have dinner with Miss Simple and visit upon Mrs. Malloy again.
Oh goodness, what races you makes me run. All right then, I'll meet you in front of Mrs. Malloy's hat shop at 4:30.
Buggy's here, Mr. Vandergelder.
Well, good. Go and get Barnaby. I want to talk to you.
Yes, Mr. Vandergelder.
Now do put your thoughts in order, Mr. Vandergelder. I can't keep upsetting the finest girls in New York unless you mean business.
Well, I'm in business, all right.
Good, because you know, you're playing a very dangerous game. You're tampering with these women's affections. And the only way you can save yourself now is to be married to someone by the end of next week.
There you are. Good news. When I come back from New York today, there are going to be some changes. But I don't want you discussing them amongst yourselves. You're going to have a mistress.
Oh, Mr. Vandergelder, I'm too young.
Not you, idiot. Me.
Many congratulations, Mr. Vandergelder. And my compliments to the lady.
It's none of your business. Go back to the store.
Yes, Mr. Vandergelder. Mr. Vandergelder,
Yes?
does the chief clerk get one evening off every week?
Is that how you begin being chief clerk, eh? Asking for evenings off. Keep asking for evenings off. Find yourself with all your evenings off. Remember that.
There he goes, Cornelius. What's wrong?
Chief clerk promoted from chief clerk to chief clerk.
Don't you like it?
Chief clerk? And if I'm good in 10 years, I'll be promoted to chief clerk again. I'm 33, and I don't even get an evening free.
Well,
When am I going to begin to live?
well, you could begin to live on Sundays, Cornelius.
That's not living. Twice to church, and the whole time Wolftrap's eyes in the back of my head. And as for holidays, what did we do last Christmas? All those canned tomatoes went bad and they exploded. We cleaned up the mess all afternoon. Was that living?
No, it wasn't, Cornelius.
Barnaby, how much money you got where you can get at it?
$3? Why, Cornelius?
You and I are going to New York.
What?
Yes, I mean it.
Close the store? We couldn't.
Some more canned tomatoes are going to explode.
How do you know, Cornelius?
I know they're rotten because you can light a match underneath them. They'll go such a smell. Customers will not be able to come in for a whole 24 hours. That will give us an evening free.
Holy cabooses.
Yes, I mean, we are going to have a good meal, we're going to be in danger, and we're going to spend all our money.
Holy cow.
And one more thing. We are not coming back until we kiss the girl.
Kissed a girl? Cornelius, you can't do that. You don't know any girls.
I'm 33. I gotta begin sometime.
Well, I'm only 17. It's not so urgent for me.
Don't be starting to back down now. If worst comes to worst and we get discharged from this place, we can always join the army.
Take a last look at your girlhood home, Ermengarde. I remember when I left my home. I gave a whinny like a young colt, and off I went.
Oh, Mrs. Levi, do you really think I should get married this way? A young girl ought to be so careful.
You know, I think I'm going to have this room in blue wallpaper. Yes, in blue. All clear up here, Cornelius. They're swelled up and ready to burst. Holy cabooses!
Barnaby, go get your Sunday